Beautiful evening.
Good evening. So can I go ahead now?
Please go ahead. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here today. African Women in Leadership Organization is happy to add value to women and girls across the world. So I'm here to introduce to you a program that we started at African Women in Leadership Organization for girls. So first of all, I would like to tell you about African Women in Leadership Organization. This is an international not-for-profit for advancing women's leadership, and we have a presence in 15 countries. And at this time, we noticed that there is a gap. There is a gap between the time when girls are young and when they actually grow to attain womanhood. And this gap is in their professional outcomes. So the statistics in the international community of development workers like us have realized that there is a gap between the educational attainment of girls and women and their participation in the workforce and in the economy. And the reason is because of gender. So gender is not supposed to be a limitation. The only thing is that, we girls and boys, we have biological traits that are unique and different, but gender has become an orientation that could be limiting. And in this sense, in the professional attainment or in simple ability for girls to attain their full potential. So what we're trying to do is provide learning opportunities. We have a program, and we're saying, how can we connect the dots from now to when girls attain their full potential? What are we doing? We're shifting their mindset. For instance, we're saying it's possible for girls and boys to do the same thing in their unique ways. Hillary Clinton said that women and girls are the highest untapped reservoir of talent. And so we're saying, how is it possible to shift their mindset? How is it possible to say, instead of looking at responsibilities at home from a gender point of view, girls are supposed to do this and boys are supposed to do this, how can we look at it from the point of view of responsibility? Anybody can do anything. The reason why these mindset shifts are important is because it translates to the roles that girls and boys think they can play. For instance, girls think they have to concentrate on being physically attractive, and so they may not go into ambitions and aspirations such as sports. But that is not true. So we're saying to girls that they can be anything that they want to be. And so we're providing them with mindset shift, number one. And number two, we're providing them with skilling. We're skilling them with different kinds of abilities, the critical thinking skills, analytical skills, abilities that will help them, to attain their full potential. We're teaching them self-efficacy. We're saying, how can you take decisions? How can you learn to make choices and know that there are consequences? How can you have the discipline to make the right choices to help you attain your full potential? And we want to surround them with the right network. We have a network of leaders, mentors in our organization across the world, and also working with people they already have and their Okay, I think I was unmuted for a second. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Mr. Kemini, we can hear you now.
Awesome, thank you. So I'm about to wrap up. So we're providing them with a community of leaders as mentors, and even still working with the schools and their parents, to make sure that these professional outcomes come through. And lastly, we want them to be involved in a lifelong learning plan. So this doesn't stop here. For us to continue to reskill, upskill, provide them with learning opportunities, this is going to go on for a very long time. And then at the end of the day, we want girls to be involved in leading change in their communities, to take the message that we teach them in girls class and share it. How are they going to share this? So we have behavior change communication games that they can take home, like their what game, play it with their family, their parents, and share it to whoever, to be able to share these ideas that we're teaching them about how girls can be whatever they want to be. And this is about them participating in change and also bringing change, peace, communicating peace to their communities. We're saying, how can girls take this message that we're sharing to them? For instance, gender-based violence, take it home. Let us learn about this so that girls and boys can integrate, and have a very beautiful upbringing and community together. Thank you so much. I hope I've not exhausted time.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ekemini. That was awesome. I'm sure, please still stick around with us so that after the other presentations, then we can entertain questions. So I'm sure our parents have noted down questions from your presentation. Thank you, Ms. Ekemini. God bless you. So we will now have the second presentation, and the second presentation will be from the creative director of Mycolo, Mr. Ayola Rufai. Mr. Ayola Rufai, creative director of Mycolo on financial literacy. So please take the floor, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Beautiful afternoon, sir.
How are you doing today? My name is Rufai Ayolua. I'm the creative director of Mycolo.ng. Thanks for the privilege for talking to you guys. It's been a long Sunday. So what Mycolo does is we're a financial literacy company that preaches financial inclusion amongst children. We want children to save. Over time, we noticed that kids were able to save as high as 200,000, 300,000 in a period of 1 year. Mycolo has been for 5 years, and we have over 100,000 sales of piggy banks, both in primary school, secondary schools. From our record, we've sold a lot. We have 25,000 returning customers. So what we have decided right now is that we are in partnership with Wema Bank to get the savings habit right. Then PiggyVest, Carrywise, and every other ones are able to sort the issues of savings for the adults, which has worked well. Between age 15, age 18, that has BVN, to age 40, 50. But what about these kids? What about these children? These children that their mommy and their daddy is always taking their money. We know that they are very important to them. We know you are their daddy and their mommy. But why don't these children learn how to save? So I have a short story that I tell everybody. I lost my dad when I was 9 years. And when my dad died, my dad said they should not share his property until when I'm 30 years. Now, this is it. I'm 32 years of age, and they've not shared his property till now. But he had a plan for me. So how many parents can boast? I'm not trying to make parents feel bad, but it's time we talk about reality here. Nobody believed that. A lot of parents lost jobs, even close people, even me, myself. COVID was an eye-opener for a lot of us. But during COVID, what we noticed is that a lot of kids were able to save money. Parents were calling us and saying, thanks to my child, he had 100,000 to save, he has 200,000 to save. In his colo, we're able to break it and buy things for the house. Because these children, they are very amazing. They don't know the price of dollars. They have less expenses. They don't have worries. Their life is so beautiful. So all they know is work, go to school, get home, do chores. Uncle gives them money. That mommy gives them money, and they keep it. And their bank is everything to them. So what we are looking at now is that we want to turn a process flow for the kids, how they can save without stress, how we can make savings important to them, which is very, very simple. How do we go about this, or how do we do this? Each child is given every colo in every school, in Divine Offspring. They have the colo and a unique account number, a virtual account number. They take the colo home, they start saving. They have a ledger, a physical ledger that teaches them what they are saving for. Okay, I'm saving for a PS4, I'm saving for travels, I'm saving for a lot of things. And by the end of the year, the colo is brought back to the school, like my colo breaking day with Divine Offspring. And immediately they get there, the colo is broken. Now, this is it. We want to make it very interesting and very catchy. We want to make it interesting and very catchy. How do we make it interesting? 70% of this money, 100% is deposited back into their virtual account. Can you hear me? 70% is lent into the account. That means they have 30%. The remaining 30% is going to be inside their ATM. So that means when mommy and daddy is going home, they don't have cash and say, borrow me, I want to buy something in the market. It is their money. So the remaining 70% is put into investment for another 2 years or 3 years, and they get return. Why they break the colo? We are doing a deal for Divine Offspring. They take the colo home, they take a brand new colo and pay for half of the price of the colo. So they go for another semester or another section rather, and they start saving again. Now with this, these children will have financial inclusion, and Wema Bank are really down to help in supporting financial inclusion among these children. So before we know it, a child might be saving, from our record, a child saved 1,080,000 naira in the period of 6 months. The schools of the public school that we've gone to, we see children saving 70 or 80,000 naira. So with this idea, I think every child will have his own unique account and he will feel special. And each of the ATM will be customized with their name, their picture, or any desired ideas they want on the ATM. So we'll have something like Femi's Colo, both physical colo and online colo. And with that, we'll be able to break the edge or sort the problem of I have money in my physical piggy bank and I have money in my online piggy bank. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Ayola Rufai. Indeed, we need to imbibe that saving culture in our children. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So the next presentation is from Engineer Michael Ahame-Fuller. Engineer Michael Ahame-Fuller, Managing Director of Bread Hub. And it will take the floor, Managing Director of Bread Hub.
Good evening, everyone.
Beautiful evening, sir.
I'm Michael. I hope I'm audible enough so everybody can hear me. So
we can hear you.
We've been to a point where we are all growing in knowledge of statistics and information management. So in the hospitals, in the law court, in technological areas, in the schools, things are changing. And we have found ourselves in Bread Hub to participate in a lot of international and local competition, trying from a family point of view to get children around our environment to learn artificial intelligence and robotics. And from our home plan, we have moved in 2018 into an organization to begin to train Nigerians around us and took them for Africa and local international competition on artificial intelligence and robotics. So this exercise has put the family into moving into another step 3 years ago to begin to move to schools to increase the knowledge. We've seen results from training Nigerians, we've seen results from training ourselves, and in the competition internationally, we have done so well for Nigeria, in Turkey, in China, in Thailand, name them. So Bread Hub has been working and competing in various international robotics competitions like World Robotic Olympiad, which all of us knows. In the last 6 years, Bread Hub been there. In the last 4 years, Bread Hub has always won this competition. So in Africa, we also been participating in Pan-African Robotic Olympiad. And right there till today, I think pandemic did not allow the last year's competition to happen. So we still remain number 3rd in Africa. And we've proven that we can train children in our hub here in Lekki and use them to challenge innovation and creativity. So while we were in 2018 participating, UBTech, an international organization, and we stand the best in preparation of curriculum for children in schools, came to us and tried to partner with us, and we got into that relationship deeply, and we learned a lot. So as a family, we decided that we will not take this just in our family. We'll move into Nigeria to present the different curriculums, keep this one, that we have from preschools to secondary schools to university levels. While we were doing the academic, we had the pandemic coming to the world, and our partners began to innovate various industrial solutions, which if you have seen the network news last year, you noticed that we're all waiting for a robot to come into our airport. That's UBTech robotics, coming in from Bredow. So we have this desire to take this study into the schools. And big schools in universities have started partnering with us, like the Federal University of Technologies. And we have private universities coming up to say, oh, we want to have this thing, it's helping our children. So last 2 weeks or about 3 weeks, we were in our school, and we made presentation, and children were happy. And the point now is, how do we get our parents appreciate what we are bringing into the children? This is the reason for this presentation. One, around us, you find out you try to pass the toll gates, you have a tag on your car, and the turnstile opens up. You get into the university or hotels, the doors are opening just by sighting you. You all heard about artificial intelligence. You also know that this is going to grow from now, and the gaps between other parts of the world and Africa can be measured with our knowledge of artificial intelligence and robotics. It's already in the schools. Last year, a log was presented showing countries that are doing well in preparing their children for the future. Africa was not there, but 2 countries were listed. One of them were South Africa and Nigeria. And that Nigerian effort is recorded because of what Breadhub is doing in Nigeria. And we want to see that this passion doesn't stop just in, advert and saying, oh, we have people who can do it. We are training young youths all over Nigeria. We had like 6,200 and something Nigerian youth that we trained with partnership that we had from Minister of Youth and Sport. We also had about 2,000 training online with the Ministry of Education. Others happened last year. This year, we are not stopping. We'll continue the campaign, and we want the teachers and the parents to have this common understanding. The teachers are very much aware, but the parents need to understand that we are bringing in something new. What's the benefit? These children are learning our normal academic curriculum. They have this knowledge, but they need to use this knowledge to create and innovate. They also need to use this knowledge to work. So what artificial intelligence does in their life is give them more information to be creative, more information to assess job opportunities in future. We have children who have spent like 5-6 years with us, and they are just below 15, and they are already instructors, and we train them here. So we believe that from many schools, we can harvest and harness children who we help Breadhub and likes of Breadhub existing in Nigeria today to train more children in Nigeria so we can provide and be productive in country without waiting for anyone to give us a job after school. Some children, like we just talked about financial management, some children before they come out from university will be able to develop apps and they make money. And we want these children to be independent. One other thing is, if you want to survey the society, get the children educated. Artificial intelligence has proven that it can keep the children very busy all the way through. Some children that their parents got involved into it do not have time to play so much that they will forget their study. The children also build concentration because they enjoy the color, they enjoy the technical things. The artificial intelligence appear like a mirror and a film and a magic before them. So that keeps growing their attention. And some children have built attention to continue to study for more than 6 hours, which with very high concentration. And we have seen that happening in artificial intelligence. And when they go into other subjects, they bring in that attention and their learning becomes very easy. So we made presentation, and this time what we want to do is to show our parents what we are bringing to our children and to encourage them to join in the participation to get our children get this knowledge in the schools, and it will help them move further in life. So without wasting more time, I would like to show you some things we have. You can see behind me the humanoid robot. These robots are going to be the industrial robots you're going to see in the industries, and you'll find them doing good jobs in many places. But we need children that will take over the job in the next 2-3 years. During our time, they always ask us, do you have knowledge of computer? Today, nobody cares about if you can operate computer, because the telephone and other gadgets have made it easy for all of us to know how to use computer. We moved to the point where they are asking, do you know how to use this program before I can employ you? We have moved away from that state. This is Industrial Revolution 4, and we parents, we know that things are changing. The next question when our children are out of university is, what programming language do you have at the tip of your finger before they gain any employment? They need to have this knowledge. They can work for any company all over the world, from even Nigeria, and raking good foreign exchange into our country while working from Nigeria. So we have children in Nigeria develop robots such as this one that has won the African going to US last year for robotic competition created in this hub. Most of the parts were developed using our 3D. Let me show you what the children are doing here. So the children come in here and they use the 3D printer to do things that you can imagine. And they also do mold for industries that can that want to produce a lot of things and show them. So the 3D is a production part of the artificial intelligence where they use their innovation to create something. They do that programming in their laptop or an iPad, and they push it into any robotic equipment, and they will have results. So we have various types of robot boxes that we show the children. We have this is the advanced, all right? We have the advanced, we have the elementary, we have the entry, and we have various categories. So all we need to do is to provide these children with the boxes, and they will develop all these robots. They will develop them. Once we have a problem, we give it to them. They begin to go through what they have done in the past and provide solutions to us. Those solutions are used to assess their performance, and it is graded in the classes. So it's going to be like you study your mathematics, the same way they're going to have the artificial intelligence and robotics in their classes. It's going to be an opportunity for them to have hands-on and practical experience on how they can be productive in future. It comes from different levels of knowledge. So we do, many schools will tell us that they're doing programming. Yes, they do Scratch, they do C, they do C++, they do also C++, Python, and most of our parents can understand this time that this knowledge of artificial intelligence is very important to help our society and to provide solutions to the problems that we have today. I will not go too far into details, but what I want to let us understand is this is what our children need now. And we have, from the basics, our partner UBTech is in 36 universities.
Well done, sir.
They are in 36 universities, and I want us to, you can see
Your-
up here the
Your 5
several
minutes
awards
is
we have
about
won
up, sir.
locally,
I hope you can
internationally.
hear me, engineer.
Yes, so I want to say thank you for the opportunity. And bye.
Thank you so very much. But for the fact that we are mindful of time, today being Sunday and tomorrow being Monday, you know, I mean, we would have, I would have loved to keep listening to you, but we are mindful of time. So I'm sure our parents have 1 or 2 questions to ask the 3 presenters. So please, parents, if you have a question, you may please just signify with a raise of hand, or you can send it as a text, a chat message, and it will be read. So if we have questions for any of the 3 presenters, please indicate with a raised hand. Okay, I wasn't sure if I was muted. It's question time. If we have any question for our presenters, Ms. Ekemini, who spoke about the African women in leadership organizations, Mr. Rufai, who spoke about Mycolo, literacy, financial literacy, and of course, Engineer Michael Ahemefula, who spoke about robotics. So they are waiting to entertain questions. If we have any question, we can signify with a raise of hand, or we can send it through via the chat box. Okay, I have the Osusuluas. So please take the floor, ma'am or sir. Sir, okay, thank you.
Good evening to all parents and everyone. I just wanted to get more clarity regarding the Mycolo. When it was presented, I remember I mentioned something around they would have an account. So in terms of whatever savings they're having that is being put into the Colo, who is going to make those remittance to the bank account that is opened for the kids, which the 70% that is linked, or the 30% that is linked into those accounts, who is going to make those payments? Are they the ones, or the parent will on the Colo remit those payments? And then for the bed up, I think I just wanted to make a comment regarding that. Not really a question, but it's really good. And you guys should keep it up. And I think, like you already said, this is something for the future. And glad that you guys are partnering with that to our kids.
Thank you very much, sir. So, Mr. Rufai, please go ahead and respond.
Good evening, sir. So this is what happens in it. When the student saves money, the Colo is with the parent, is with you guys in the house, and they save. So when they bring them back to school, they end up breaking it. So Wema Bank and the Mycolo staff is going to transfer that same money. The same, let's give an example. They save 100,000 naira. They save 100,000 naira inside their Colo. It is being transferred back. It's being transferred back into their virtual account. Now, 30% of that money is given to them, to save, while the remaining 70% is lent. So it's a virtual account. So there's an account that Wema Bank is trying to create for us that the KYC will be done. They don't need BVN. They don't need their parent to do the BVN for them. So it's just that the account has a limit, maybe between 50,000 to 300,000. So when they break the colo, the money is being transferred. So it's like they're collecting cash from the kids and transferring the money to them immediately. So the child or the parent are getting the alert immediately via their email.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rufai. I think I conclude that all that our presenters have said have been absorbed by us.
Beautiful evening, parents. Apologies. I think Mrs. Ishola is having a bit of a network issue. I don't know if you can hear me loud and clear. So please, if you can hear me, can somebody just put a message in the chat? Okay, Ms. Ishola, are you back?
I can hear you. Okay. Yes, I'm back. Okay, I guess network locked me out.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I don't know, are you ready to take your session? Because I don't see any question coming in again, sir.
Okay. Okay, so there are no more questions coming in. Can we give about 10 seconds to see if anyone has a question?
Okay.
Okay, I think that's fine. I think we should appreciate the team from Bread Hub, the team from Aulo, and the team from Mycolo for coming in today. I'm sure DRS is a family. We would get back and have further interactions about this presentation and reach out to all the organizations that have presented today. It might need to be a talk where we express our our concerns or issues or our understanding about some of the presentations. And I'm sure after that, we can get back to the organizations that are here today. So I think I might just need to ask respectfully that these organizations exit the meeting so that we can go ahead as a family. But thank you so much for coming, each and every one of you. We appreciate you. And there'll be a follow-up discussion concerning this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful evening, parents. Thank you once again for coming to today's meeting. I think the central, issue that we had to discuss today was to listen to these presentations and go forward towards taking any questions that parents might have concerning the first half of the term or concerning how we go forward. Please, can we mute our mics, please? How we go forward into the second half. Like Mrs. Ishola said, I think it's just parents are just worthy of being commended for the support that they have provided, that they have given to the school DOIS through the 6 weeks. It was a difficult period for the second wave coming in, and we thank God that we have had a successful 6 weeks. It doesn't mean that we should rest and believe that all things are back to normal. That might be unwise. So we would go ahead with the same, in fact, with an improved, decision to ensure that safety and hygiene is at the center of everything that we do going forward in the next 6 weeks. So thank you so much, parents. Thank you for all you do. We know how inconveniencing it is for some of the things that we ask from you, but you have always supported us all this while. Thank you so much. I don't think I have much to say. I just want to appreciate parents again for all that they have been doing. I know we ask a bit too much when it comes to DOIS from parents, and that's because our focus, our strategy, our model incorporates parents into the education or educating children. We believe that it's a combined approach. The school cannot do it alone. We believe that children would understand better, would appreciate education when everybody is involved. It takes a village to raise a child. So you would see that everything that we are doing, we are getting you involved. Some parents don't find it too comfortable, too convenient, but we keep appealing to them that it's a sacrifice that every one of us must take for our children's sake. We do on the class platforms, you will see a lot of activities going on the class platforms. You will see a lot of practical activities going on the class platform. It is for a reason. We do believe that for us to attain the level of understanding when it comes to education, we must ensure that we teach for flexible performance. What that simply means is that while a lot of schools teach for knowledge, we teach for understanding. Understanding is the ability that a child has in utilizing knowledge to solve problems. And that can only come when we bring in context into the learning process. So you would see that on the platforms, there are a lot of things we are doing. Those things are not just for the sake of pictures or for aesthetics or whatever. Those things are part of the learning process. For children to understand the concepts that we teach in class, we must ensure that we provide the right context for them to see how that knowledge is utilized to solve problems. Because at the end of the day, the critical skill required in the future, now and into the future, is the skill of problem solving. So if a child does not know what to do with the knowledge that he has learned, if that child cannot use that knowledge, then that knowledge is actually a waste. So you find, for example, let me give you an example. You find that you teach addition and subtraction in class. A class grade 2, grade 3, they learn a concept, addition and subtraction of money. Now, a child learns that concept fully. He does his classwork, he does his assignments, he gets 100 over 100, 10 over 10, A plus in his result. Then you send that child to the nearest shop in your estate to go and buy a bottle of Coke. And you give that child 100 naira to buy that Coke. If he gets there and he buys the Coke for 50 naira and he does not understand that the concept he learned in class, addition and subtraction, should be utilized in that shop to solve a problem, then that child has not attained understanding. That child just has knowledge. If a child can write a letter in class and get 100 over 100, but cannot utilize that letter to appeal to his aunt to come for holidays, then that child has accumulated knowledge but has not attained understanding. If a child is so good in social studies, and that child's social life has not improved or does not change, then that child has not attained understanding. So to the best of our ability as a school, we try to create those contexts in the school. We might not be able to get to your house to put the context, or we might not be able to ascertain exactly how the situations children will find themselves, but we can, in the school, at least that we can control, create the context in the school so that children can move from knowledge to understanding. So please, we appeal to you as much as we ask from you, provide these materials, dress them in this way, do this, do that. Please, we encourage you to please support us in that endeavor. We also want to appreciate parents for their support with the DrawG behavioral concept that we have put on the ground. We are getting testimonies from parents about how their children are being appreciated when they go out, the way they greet, their behavior has changed. There's a behavioral modification, their attitudes, their disposition is changing, the way they conduct themselves in public has improved. All of this, we cannot take all the glory for that. We believe that our parents is part of this, and we want to encourage you to please support us in this, our objective of ensuring that our children stand out in their behaviors wherever they go. Let me tell you a story. 3 weeks ago, I don't know if the parent is here, but I walked into Samsung office at Ogba, the one after, I don't know what's the store close to it. It's before Temoko, coming from Ogba, after KFC. And I was going to buy an appliance. And by the time I wrote Divine Offspring School as, on the receipt, somebody walked up to me, a lady walked up to me screaming, are you from Divine Offspring School? I said, yes. And she was just ecstatic, that a child walked in. She's the manager of the store. That a child walked in, a boy walked in. I don't know, she didn't give me the boy's name. A boy walked into the Samsung office a week before. And by the time he greeted, took his bow, his courtesy, and all of that everybody at the store was shocked. And she just said to herself that her child was going to come to Divine Offspring School, that everybody kept asking the boy, what school are you coming from, and all of that. So I know our children are making us proud here and there. So I want to encourage everybody to please sustain it, and let's see that they stand out everywhere they go. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. One more thing I would like to talk about is that we are pushing towards infrastructural development. Valdini Jones, this is a combined meeting. Valdini Jones, we are working on the aesthetics. We are working on some improvements in the school. We are moving that infrastructural development to Allen and College next term. Aside the fact that we are looking at external improvements, we are also working on improving the quality of education that we offer. And that simply means that the infrastructure when it comes to teaching and learning will also be improved. We have just installed unlimited Wi-Fi in our schools. So anywhere you are in the school now, you can access the internet, and it's just for the benefit of our teachers so that they can access curriculums outside the country and utilize those curriculums in their lessons in school. We're also going to be installing projectors in all the classes to also ensure that our children can also visualize what is being taught. So all of this is taking a lot from us, but we realize that we cannot ignore the tough pains that we have faced last year. Those tough pains should guide our decisions going forward. It will be very unwise. I keep saying that to my staff and to everybody, that it will be unwise if we ignore those pains and we act like we have resumed the way things used to be. Things are not the same right now. Education has changed, it's evolving. And if as a school we don't evolve with it, we will be left behind. One thing for sure is that if we stay static, education would move forward, the world will move forward, and we will still stay where we are. So there will be a lot of inconvenience when it comes to providing gadgets for our children, giving them access to the internet so they can do their assignments and all of that. But if we are uncomfortable in the short term, but we keep pushing our comfort zone, in the long term, we would achieve, we will become comfortable soon enough. But we need to bear these pains for now, just to ensure that we raise children that are not, let me use the analogy of a shop. They are not expired by the time they get to the shelf. Now, if we raise children that we don't incorporate digital literacy into the curriculum or into how we teach and learn, our children will arrive at the job market and they would not be able to function when that time comes. So we need to prepare children, not just for when they arrive at the job market, but also for the future of that time also. So it's a difficult time because even being able to articulate exactly what the future looks like is difficult, but what we can do is to make predictions and tweak the curriculum in a way that we are sure that the children are prepared for the future that they meet. So thank you so much. I think that's all I have for now. Mrs. Shola, I think you can take over now. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. You covered quite a lot of things that we are doing and is going on. God bless you, sir. So I would like to say, okay, this is a time if there are questions from our parents, questions or contributions, we'll take the next 15 minutes. We are mindful that tomorrow is Monday and we do not want to keep the meeting longer than it should be. So if there are questions or contributions, please would like anyone just to signify with a raise of hand. Okay, so Mr. Ufodike, I see your hand go up. All right.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, parents.
Beautiful evening, sir.
All right. It's a discussion I've already commenced with the head of school at Allen. It's about the school bus and drop off. I drop my kids in school anyway. I get them to school at about 7 because of where my office is. Usually the school bus is also on my street about 6:30. But my children return home 5 p.m., 5:30. And if they are in school because of the one in grade 5, they leave the school around 3, the second bus. 5:30ish, they get home. So my take is from my house to the school is about 6 minutes. It's off Allen. But my boys say the school bus normally goes through Oregu Road, which means they are always dropped last. My thinking is if they keep getting home about 5:36, if other kids who live on the same bus around 3 with them, maybe Oregu Road, get home about 3:34. When my kids are getting home by 5:36, other kids will have maybe done their homework or had lunch, taking a bath and all that. So when they start to unpack by 6 and have to go to bed by 8, it becomes tight, doing homework and many things. So my take, after thinking about it, I also thought about what solution. So for me, the solution is this. For example, if you have 10 kids in the bus, day 1 or week 1, you can go through Oregu Road, drop child number 1, child number 2, child number 3, etc., etc. And let's assume my kids are number 10. The next week or the next day, drop number 10 first, drop number 9, drop number 8, drop number 7, so that the child who is number 10 will not always be the one getting home by 6 p.m. when other people are getting home by 4. And I think it's something that is fair. The issues about traffic comes up. Well, nobody is a custodian of traffic, so nobody plans where the traffic will be. I think the right thing to do, instead of saying traffic, is to implement the suggestion and we find a way to resolve the traffic issue, because there are certain things that we cannot control. Instead of always saying traffic, the business of always blaming traffic in Lagos or something, It's just like me running a business and my staff keep telling me I come late because of traffic every day or coming late because of traffic. I won't take that excuse. You must find a way to solve the problem. Because if they keep getting home by 6 p.m. and I'm rushing them, do your homework, take your bath, have you had lunch, you must go to bed by 8 so I can wake you by 5 to go to school again. So I think let me mention it here. Other parents can also think about it and see whether what I'm suggesting is actually right or wrong. Let them comment.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. At least you have, as it concerns you, you have spoken to us as a school, and it's for us to look into what you have said and prefer solution. In fact, thank you. I appreciate the fact that you mentioned the problem and you also suggested a solution. We will certainly look into it. Thank you very much, sir. God bless you. So I saw one of our parents' hands to up, but before I call the next person, please, I would just want to appeal so that others can also participate. Let's make our questions or contributions very precise and brief. Thank you. So I'd like to call on Mrs. Idowu, Mrs. Chibuzo Idowu, ma. Please take the floor.
Beautiful evening, everyone.
Beautiful evening, ma'am.
Okay, I remember some time ago we were chatting online. I think on the forum though, and I talked about online classes, and I mentioned the word. I used the word crappy, and one or two parents came at me. Unfortunately, Divine Offspring has refused to prove me wrong, because I found out last week that my daughter had only one class. The ICT teacher got to her only once. The social studies teacher, most of the time, she couldn't hear and she complained and even chatted to her as they were, working, saying this and this is happening. I'm really, really upset because we had a discussion, even with you. I am very upset right now. And even as Mr. Oke did his presentation, there was no mention of online students. It just seems like my child has been alienated because she's the only one in her class doing online classes. And it is totally unacceptable because she couldn't even write the ICT test that she had. She came in for the the midterm test last week. She couldn't write it because she didn't even know what it was she didn't have nothing was taught her. The only person who makes an effort if this shares notes, let her. This is classwork. Let her do them. She does them. We snap and send back to him. I am not happy. I am not a happy camper right now. I do not know how you want to sort it out, but it has to be sorted out.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Well noted. Your concerns is well noted. And we will, I'm sure I'll call you during the week as we resume, and we will look further into this. So I'll call on the next parent, the Osusuluas.
Beautiful evening, you everyone.
Beautiful evening, ma'am.
I want to talk about that there's actually an ongoing conversation Nigerian curriculum that it's outdated and not building our kids for the future. So it's actually commendable that you guys introduce robotics into your curriculum. But I just want to find out that how are you going to blend this digital literacy with other aspects and other subjects?
Okay, is that the question, ma'am?
Yes, the question to say, okay, you've introduced it now as a subject in the school. So how do you intend to blend or infuse this with other subjects in the school?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. It's something that we are planning to do, and of course, because we run an integrated curriculum, British and Nigerian British curriculum, and so when we really say digital literacy, I mean, it's not just going to be a subject that only when they go into a particular class that would occur. But when we talk about digital literacy, you find that it will cut across all the subjects. It will be integrated, is what we call subject linkage. It will be embedded in every curriculum. So for example, in social studies, in vocational, I mean, you will see that at work. And that was why Mr. OK talked about that all our classrooms will be equipped with projectors. Already, to a great extent, I see teachers doing a whole lot of that. I mean, no longer would you just come to class you're teaching or some outdated instructional materials, but a lot of things, digital materials now are being embedded in every teaching. So that's how we are going to, incorporate that. We have started, but we are going to a higher level. And I think Mr. Bread Hop engineer had already, made his presentation. That's another high level we are going. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I love that. Don't worry. We will surely achieve it by God's grace, ma'am. Okay, I don't know. I think no hands are up and no questions dropped in the chat box. I guess this will be a good time. Maybe I'll just give them a minute or 30 seconds because we'll be having our proprietress, our mama, to round up this meeting. So if in the next 5-10 seconds, no hands are up, then I would invite her. Okay, so I think it's a good time. Oh, okay, just one hand just came up. All right, let's have Mr. Olakunle Ajayi. Please take the floor, sir.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Beautiful evening, sir.
Good evening to everyone. We've been listening to the whole meeting. It's been fine. A lot of things has been said, but I just want to chip in some things. I want to talk about security.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I wouldn't know the plan of DOIS regarding to security. We know what is happening in Nigeria now. It's been a very toxic thing regarding to kidnapping, adopting school children, and the rest of that. So I wouldn't know what DOIS have in stock. A lot of schools right now, they are beefing their security. You know, what is happening now. I really don't know what DOIS is doing with their plan regarding to security. They'll be securing these children. You know, while en route to school, you know, via the school bus, you know, back home and whilst in school. So I actually wouldn't know what DOIS is doing presently regarding to all of this. It is very germane. It is very important, you know. So we need to be assured, you know, especially the area of security. So, you know, I will appreciate if you can shed, you know, more light on this, you know.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for this very important question that you have asked. And in fact, it was one part that we did not mention that, you know, in recent times, we've had to talk to our security men to become more aware of what the environment. We've had to replace certain security men that we felt they were not meeting up to expectations. And talks and discussions are still ongoing as to what we will do for the school bus. We will continue to, because it's not something that we are just doing. We've always done that, but like they say, we have to just continue sensitizing and training our personnel that are on the bus, the drivers, the bus attendants, you know, and they have a register. There's all the safety precautions that need to be taken. at pickup and at drop off. We'll continue to, train them and talk to them based on all of that. But like I said, we are still working more on ensuring that our security is tight. Thank you, sir. So I'll call on Miss Lala. Mrs. Lala, ma'am, you can take the floor.
Thank you, ma. Beautiful evening,
Yes,
everyone.
ma'am. Beautiful evening, ma'am.
I would like to start with the issue of toilets in the upper grades. I mean on the story building. I just heard now, because we cannot go into the classroom, which we understand why we cannot. But I just learned now that the door to that toilet cannot be closed. And the door is far from the toilet seat. So anyone using the toilet cannot even use his or her hand to close the door. We are talking about upper grades now. Even if it is lower grades, I don't think it is too good for someone to be using the toilet and not being, feeling insecure, having this fear of somebody will pop in, somebody will mistakenly barge in and all that. I think this is supposed to be done. That is one. Secondly, I want to talk about the social media handle of the school. Well, we all know what is happening concerning the security issue in the country now. So I wouldn't know why DOIS is going into social media this time, to the extent that you have someone managing your social media. Well, there's nothing wrong about that. It might be that you are using it as advertisement, but I would like to advise that the picture of the students should not be posted on any social media handle. We have had instances where students were kidnapped through the means of the school they attend. They know the name of the school, they know their uniform, and they could trace the movement of the students. God forbid bad thing. So I wouldn't think it's a good idea posting the pictures of students on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all that. School can advertise the school, but not the students. Thank you. And as touching security, I know of some schools here in Ogba that have policemen stationed at the adults. It's getting to that, it's getting to that level now. The insecurity in the state now, or in the country, is nothing to joke about. I pray that God will continue to keep us secure. But God will not do what we can do for ourselves. We won't do it for ourselves. So whatever we can do, let's do it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. Well appreciated for your contributions. Concerning the door, that will be attended to immediately on Monday. Will be attended to immediately, and your contribution concerning the social media, that is noted, and it will be put on the board. Thank you very much. So we have Mrs. Olubi Damilola. I think that after her, we will now have to call on the proprietress. We'll be rounding off the meeting after Mrs. Olubi's contribution, so that we can prepare for Monday. We don't want to keep our parents. Yes, ma'am, please take the floor.
Okay, beautiful evening, everyone. Concerning them beefing up security for the school, I've heard, like, a friend of mine told me that one of our daughter's school, like, they did something to their school buses to protect, like, it's like a glass protect for the what should we call it, for the sliding door, like the glass of the buses, like it's like a smash protect that no metal object can penetrate through the glass, no matter how hard they install it, like no matter how hard they hit the glass of the bus, that it won't penetrate through that. She's actually trying to get it done on her car too and all that. So we got talking and I'm like, oh, wow, that's really nice. Like security and all that concerning everything that's going on in the country. And I'd like to do it to my car as well. And then maybe I'll probably talk to my school, head of school, and my children's head of school, you know, to if they can get it done to their school. Although I don't have any of my children that, you know, take the school bus, but if they can look it up, like if they can work towards it, it's something very good. I've actually seen the video of how they install it and how they actually, you know, like use like a metal object to if the glass of the bus, like it wasn't penetrating, it wasn't breaking. And it was such a very good idea and all that. So I don't know if they can consider it, if they would like to get it done on behalf of my family. We can do one to one of the school buses and you can see how it goes from there. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Olubi. Certainly, I'm going to give you a call and I hope you can lay your hands on the video so that you can share it with us. And we will
Okay, sure, I will.
Oh, thank
Okay,
you
I'll
very
do
much.
that. I'll do
God
that.
bless you. While I was talking about security, I also forgot to mention that we have CCTV cameras installed, you know, in our various branches. We have CCTV cameras, so that's also part of our security things that we are doing, strategy. So at this time, I would like to invite our proprietress, Reverend Mrs. Anunobi, to please take the floor now. So Mommy, over to you. Is Mommy here now? She has 1 or 2 words for us.
Hello, Mrs. Ishola.
Yes, Mommy, good evening, beautiful evening, Ma.
Oh, beautiful evening, everyone.
Good to hear your voice.
Oh, yes. Well done for the job. Beautiful
evening,
my esteemed parents of DOIS. Good to hear our voices. Good to be in one meeting like this. I'm so glad for the opportunity today for our PTF. And actually, our PTF is one gathering or meetings I really cherish so much because of exactly what happens today. It affords us opportunity for us, at least to a large extent, our stakeholders to rub minds on issues that borders on our children's education and their well-being. So that is why I actually love meetings like this in DOIS. And of course, today we've had so much, both from the presenters from Aulo, Red Hub, and my Kilo, or what they call it, the financial literacy guy, which is my Coco also. So it's been awesome this evening. I'm so happy that a lot of us are in attendance. And I just want to quickly say that for some of these issues that have been raised, which are concerns of parents, we are definitely going to look into them. Divine Offspring School is a school that listens. I'm sure you will give that to us. We are a school that listens and we take actions immediately. The security issue that just came up at the tail end of this meeting is very sensitive, very, very sensitive. And I want to promise our parents that we are going to call a meeting for that. We are going to go into it deeply. If possible, get some of our parents who are into security outfits or whatever as business. We're going to get them involved and we'll rub minds together and see how we can beef up our security measures in the school. We are not going to take it lightly at all because we all actually know what is happening in our country today. But we know with God by our side and with our own human effort, We will not experience such at all in DOIS in the name of Jesus. God is going to help us. For all we have said, like I said, please be rest assured that we will look into all and we will continually do our best to see that we give you a maximum satisfaction for this through the services we render. God will help us to exceed your expectation. And I want to thank every one of us, every one of us. Mr. Ufodike, I remember your concern also. It was even touchy as you were saying it, and you were very considerate to say if this group is dropped at so time, the other group next time should be dropped first. That was a very good consideration. Thank you so much for not being selfish and understanding that business is not easy actually, but with cooperation from parents like DOIS parents, it has made it, at least to an extent, easy for us to move on. I pray that God will help every one of us, help our children, keep us safe at all times, wherever we are. God will keep us safe, keep our children safe, keep the school safe, that we will not have any evil report at all. Like Mr. K said, Mrs. Ishola said at the beginning, God has been so faithful, seeing us through the first half of the term, amidst the COVID fears, but God is actually with us, so faithful. I'm sure he will continually be with us, and the remaining half of the term will go smoothly without any evil report in the name of Jesus. So at this point, I don't really have anything to say, but at least to make you know that I'm here with you, that I'm here with you. That's why I had to just chip in a word. Thank you very much, and God bless us all. Please don't relent to let us know your concerns. We care, we listen, and we do. God bless you, everyone, in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mommy. Thank you for that wonderful word of prayer. So thank you to all our parents. Thank you for coming. Have a fantastic, great week ahead of you in the name of Jesus. So happy end of February and glorious new month to us tomorrow in Jesus' name. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye, Mommy.
Bye,
Bye, Mr.
Shola.
Bye,
God
everyone.
bless you. See you tomorrow.
Amen.
Bye.